My guests are seated now, and we're ready to do some hard talk right here on the show. Emmanuel Chamantejaku is Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting
me. Joseph Ade Coker. Good morning to you.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
You are always really looking very, very smashing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to start off because I think after the train derailment, this is the first time that I am having an encounter with you.
Yeah.
And there's a 3-man committee that's been set up to look into it.
Yeah.
But that's your constituency.
It is within
so what should we know about what happened?
Well, once again, thank you for inviting me, and good morning to you and to my very good friend, Chairman. Would you Chairman? And to our viewers. Well, I think it is early days yet. It falls within the remit of the Ministry for Railway Development. It just happened in my constituency, and I was called, and it should have been remiss of me if I didn't attend to it. So I went to see. I must say that I cannot comment because I really and truly don't know. Thankfully, the Honourable Minister for Railway Development has set up a 3-member committee headed by one of his deputies to look into this, and I believe they have 10 days to report on it. I think that we should wait for the report to come, then we can all make some intelligent analysis of what it is. But I think it underscores, for me, it underscores or it confirms the vision of His Excellency the President to have hived off railways. It is such an important mode of transportation. Look, these lines, since they were laid in the pre-colonial times, has not seen much change. And everywhere, I am not a sociologist, but everywhere, development has followed the extension of railways. Okay. In America, it is when the railways moved towards the west that the Wild West, the so-called Wild West, opened for everything. Today, it has become almost the breadbasket of the world. When you go down, Texas has become the headquarters of the oil industry worldwide. But all of it was on the back of the development of railway lines. I think that it is important that we look at this sector critically. I have heard, I was not there when it was said, but I've heard it being said that His Excellency the President has said that his greatest legacy he would leave for this country is to have a standard gauge railway line go from Tema to Paga. I think all of us as Ghanaians should support this. It is important. The way it will open up this country, can you imagine railways in Techiman or railways going through Yendi? And everywhere where the railway has come, quote unquote, it comes with development of new townships and settlements and all of this. So maybe this is a wake-up call. For me, I think it clearly tells us that we must take railway development very seriously.
Okay. Were there casualties? I mean,
well, casualties in the sense that I hear that 3 people got injured, but thankfully it was not so serious. I think that they were admitted for observation for a few hours and discharged from the Achimota Hospital.
Okay. Chairman,
yes.
You want to make any brief comments on this?
Good morning to yourself again, and my very good friend, Jaco. You know, this country, we seem to have forgotten what is called railway. Look at the roads, these heavy vehicles, these articulators, right? Can you imagine what the railway would have done if it was in good condition? All over the world, bulk transportation, is done by the rails. Unfortunately for us here, bulk transportation is done by these vehicles. Some of them, even they've overloaded that they cannot even traverse the roads. Right. This derailment, I see as a result of encroachment, and the people who are not supposed to be living near the railway lines doing so. And when you do that, when you encroach on the railway reservations, you create a problem where the usage of the land and all manner of things crops up. You could see that. Look at the debt. Look at the debt along the railway lines. Right. All these things degrade the. My brother rightly said, for so many years, the railway lines have not seen any appreciable change. But the degradation of the area itself culminates in this kind of derailment. People just defecate there, they throw garbage there, all manner of things. So it degrades the railway. You go to other countries, you can never see, look, you can never see human settlement near a railway line. I mean, it's only in Ghana that you seem to see this kind of things. You can never see any human development along a railway line. But in Ghana, go to, as you approach the Accra main railway station, after you've crossed the circle, and you, I think, Adabraka, wherever it is, you can see people are so close to the rail, and that will cause degradation to the line. So,
I think
my colleague has made an excellent point. There are, I say this advisedly because there are huge political undertones. The day this happened, I was there. And obviously, I would want to admit that God was kind on that day. I think the coach that got off the tracks got stuck in an embankment of sand. If it had not, I tell you, it would have probably rolled, and the houses were just 10, 15 meters away. Like I said, I think we have not done well all these years. And when there's a principle of science which says that nature abhors vacuum. When the railway is not working and the land is there, people will encroach. But I want to believe that if the lines, time comes for the lines to be reconstructed, I want to believe that there will be the muscle, government will find the muscle to ensure that people, I think that the minimum...
As it is now, the muscle must also include some finances, because we'll get people who would say, compensate me because I've been living here for such a long time.
I think that the issues about are all matters of law. If somebody has his land and you go and live on it without his permission, and he comes and says, I want my land, government, this is not even a private land, this is not a land that belongs to me or him, and then they say that there's a statute of limitation. But I want to believe, I don't know, I don't know the state of the law, but I want to believe that if it is government land and you have gone and done something and he says, I have come, government has come, the public interest overrides everybody's interest. Okay, but for me, what is important is that if the railway is going to run, then people must move. I have the same problem in my constituency. The rails run through Jowulu, through on the back of President Kufuor's house, and people live quite close to it, quite close. And I want to believe it is because the railway is not working. But if we find the money to do, if we find the wherewithal to do the needful, I want to believe that we must correct this. Otherwise, it just won't happen.
All right. So we'll get this report from the committee, and the terms of reference as follows: ascertain the cause of the accident, determine the nature of the derailment, make recommendations to forestall any future occurrences of such incident, make recommendations as to whether or when the line should be reopened and make any other relevant recommendations. So we'll get that report from or on the 6th of November 2017, because that's when the report is supposed to be ready. In the meantime, the Accra to Tema shuttle service has been suspended till further notice. The committee will hold both public and private sit-ins. And this is contained in a statement that was issued right after the derailment, signed by Joe Gate, who is Minister for Railways Development. Now, let's turn our attention to this story. Sorry, this story in the Daily Guide, and I wonder if it's because we're coming to talk about the NDC. But we know that the Daily Guide has been publishing stories, allegedly from the Kwesi Botchwey reports, and we also got hold of some documents here at JoyNews, and we also did put ours out there yesterday. About some vehicles that were supposed to have been given to journalists. Coincidentally, the Daily Guide is also bringing that angle of that report in their publication today. But the point is, with all the talks, all the little things coming out every day, we will not stop. Once you make this report public, talk about it.
Let me tell you and state emphatically, there's nothing like this in the Kwesi Botchwey.
Do you have a copy of that report?
Professor Kwesi Botchwey, on completion of his job, came to NEC and gave us an executive summary.
What is NEC?
National Executive Committee.
That's
For the purposes of
National Executive Committee of the NDC,
exactly,
for which you are a member. Okay.
Right. Came and gave us an executive summary. And you know that in any document, there's an executive summary. And that executive summary captures, to a large extent, the findings.
How many pages of that?
Oh, I can't tell the pages of the executive summary, but he came and gave us the whole NEC executive summary.
So you've got individual copies?
No. None of us have gotten. That's what I'm saying. Apart from the national chairman, who was given only one copy, which he is keeping in his custody.
But copies can be made out of one copy.
By who? By him?
I'm just saying that copies can be made out of one copy.
You want to play the devil's advocate and have the belief that there's a copy out there that you are talking to. There's no copy.
So yesterday, for instance, the Daily Guide brought the angle of a chairman in the Eastern region who had been given 1 million Ghana cedis.
It is not
and
true.
The recommendation was that he should be investigated, he should be probed.
It is not
You're
true.
saying that is not in the...
Tell you what is my colleague. No regional chairman was given any... If they were Boatin got 1 million, and Greater Accra, I didn't get 1 million, then I'll be stupefied. You understand?
How much did you get, by the way?
Well, we had money to do the campaign, right? Campaign funds were made available, logistics were made available for us to do the campaign, period. So this is that somebody is sitting somewhere who has decided to write his own report and serializing it. This 200 cars or whatever it is not captured in the executive summary. If it was captured in the executive summary, Professor Kwesi Botchwey will come and say or talk about it during his presentation. So this is...
so none of this is true?
Much ado about nothing. You see, we call this... look, what Professor Kwesi Botchwey said at the NEC, a committee was put in place. Various committees were put in place. That is why you realize that our biometric registration, we've jettisoned that, and now we are starting a new process of doing re-registration, of manual registration, which at the branch level. Things that he said we should do.
Incidentally, some of the things that you're doing now, which were all recommendations, are things contained in the copies that are out there as well.
I'm just telling you about the executive summary. What was in the executive summary? So if you've got the executive summary, then that's fine. But if you haven't got the executive summary, in the executive summary, there was nothing about 200 cars. I'm just telling you what was in the executive system, where committees were put in place, and now we are implementing the recommendations of the contributory report, which is ongoing. Like Council of Elders going around the country, assuaging the feelings of our members. All those things are ongoing. So talking about vehicles, I don't think it's
so
never
that's
happened.
not contained.
No.
So so let's understand this well. You're saying that the main report, there's no way that anybody can have a hold of the main report.
Exactly.
And
because at our last meeting, which was about a week or two ago, this question, and we asked the national chairman, who is the leader of the party, that look, there are certain things going on in the daily guide. He said, yes, I will. Have you said, look, where the document is, he himself, where the document, he goes there, look through it. When they state the page, he goes there, look at the page, and result.
Okay. But you are saying, however, that the executive summary is what was made available to the NEC.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So could it be, but you're saying that these reports that we've seen are not in the executive summary?
I've just told you what was in the at least the main import of the executive summary was the biometric registration, right? Okay. And the secondly, the need for us to go and do a tour, a thank you tour, but in that thank you tour, we need to assuage the feelings of the people, which is being done all over the country, right? And secondly, we should ensure that we have an early Congress. That is why we brought up the program of having various elections within the party structures, and which will culminate in a new national election being held in July. And then the way forward, the new executive will look at the way forward. Can
I quickly read a few things to you, and let's cross-check if this is also in the executive summary
but he says he hasn't seen it.
No, but he's seen the executive summary. He is aware of what is in the executive summary, so that's what we're working with.
200 vehicles you are talking,
it's not it. How about NDC disrespected its own media? NDC is intolerant of the media. NDC sponsored pro-MPP media who painted themselves as neutral. NDC had no patience to build neutral stations.
It is not in the executive summary.
So this is just a figment of somebody's own imagination.
Somebody has sat in his house and is writing a new report for the NDC.
Wow. Okay. All right. So now is there a plan? Have you decided on what to do? I mean, how else can you see that we are interested in the report?
We are not going to
because NDC is not a private party.
That is why we've rolled out the executive summary. We are not here prepared to go and serialize our document. That is our Bible.
Honorable, at this point, shouldn't they make it public? Because we're obviously interested in what is in that report.
You see, the good book of the Christians, the Bible, says that the things that are discussed in secret will be announced on the top of the roofs. I think that NDC is playing the ostrich, and it is funny. They are tickling themselves and they are laughing. In this country, I think that the most sacrosanct of all meetings, probably cabinet meetings, but even cabinet, the things that are discussed in cabinet, sometimes in real time, mere mortals like us get to know what happens in cabinet. The NDC is pretending as if the Kwesi Botchwey report is sacrosanct. They are doing it as if it is in the belly of the Pope and nobody can see it or nobody knows about it. I want to ask a simple question. And I want to say that I admired them when they set out the Kwesi Botchwey report and they did open meetings. You know, the meetings that they did, it is only the meetings that you do. It is only the views that are expressed by people. It is only what is said. Because that was the essence of the Kwesi Botchwey committee. Go out there and let the NDC faithful tell us why we lost so badly in this election. Unprecedented. When you had a sitting president to have lost an election this way. 54 to 44. Go out there and find out. I am saying that I admire them. Their meetings were in public.
So we captured what we need to capture.
And when a good committee goes out to listen to views, the report they will present, it will not be very different from what was said out there in the public. It won't. So I don't know what all of this, and the report is one, and it is only the chairman who has it, and he has kept it in his innermost sanctum.
Yeah, but if there's nothing about 200 cars, and I could surely admit that there's something about 200 cars.
Chairman, you have lost a terrible election.
Yeah, we know.
You have lost in a terrible way.
Know.
If I were NDC, I would advise that, look, let us, in the Bible, Psalms, it talks about Selah. Pause and reflect.
You have done that.
You are not. You
have done that.
You are still in denial. You are still saying that the things are not true. Who doesn't know about the cars you gave out? Who doesn't know? Who doesn't know about the monies that were given to people and they were supposed to do things? We are all politicians. We are not doing Salvation Army work here. We are politicians. In politics, we give our monies to party people, yes, party executives to do work. And sometimes they don't use the money. When these things happen, other people get to know and it creates a problem. You see, as for me, let them continue like this. There's no report. Nobody has seen the report. The report is in the chairman has a 3-layer safe, and it is in the safe.
Let me.
Have you heard about the angle that, you know, all these things that are out there in the media,
yes,
is being fueled by the NPP because it's in your interest to change the subjects of the day?
What is the subject? Free SHS is a good subject. Declining interest rates is a good subject.
Declining revenue generation.
Oh, as for revenue generation, where has it? Look, Ade Coker, from 20, I was just reading IFS. IFS is Dr. Komna Dufour's Institute, if you want to know. They are saying that from 2011, we have never hit our revenue targets. So what is it news? Dog bite man. Nothing to report on.
Well, but some people would argue that that's why there's a change. We're not expecting the same.
But I am saying what is important is that at the end of the day, what will be the deficits? Those are the markets. So as for revenue and expenditures, it will always be there. But when they had opportunity, the difference between the revenue and the expenditures was 9. The deficit was 9. We are saying that we will bring the deficit to below 6. That is a mark of a good government. But you see, I am saying that the news out there is asempa, is good.
So, is it? But because one of the things I wanted us to talk about is this school feeding and the fact that caterers are all individuals.
I am saying that this
4 million Ghana cedis.
This school feeding, was it from today?
But you inherited the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I agree with you. Go and ask them. We have paid up. There are still outstandings. Go and ask anybody who operates. Go and ask anybody who operates a health facility now. They will tell you that it has gotten much, much better. Yesterday, I was in a meeting.
Has it, or they're not talking yet?
I am saying that go and ask. Yesterday, I was in a meeting with, they call them the Chamber of Pharmacy. I will give you, invite him here. Go and ask anybody, all the pharmaceutical manufacturers. They will tell you that it is not optimum, but it has gotten much, much, much better.
We'll come and talk about the revenue generation. I wanted to also ask.
Let's focus on
you also have your own reports that we are expecting. The MPP also set out a committee to look at why and how you won. I mean, you have a committee that's also
finished.
You haven't finished. No. Are you going to make it public?
We'll make it public. And improve. You see, I feel sorry for NDC. I tell you, there is nothing like... when we were kids, we used to say, the downfall of a man is not his end. I don't sit here, me, as a blue blood MPP person, I don't sit here and believe that my party will be in power forever. They may, 16, 20 years, have opportunity to come back to government. But you see,
who may? I beg your
NDC.
pardon?
But you see, the way they are doing this thing, I think that they are digging themselves deeper in a hole. Look. So they are saying that Joy FM, all the things that Ivan Spencer is reading was somebody, Ivan Spencer and Manasseh Azure are winning, and all the people went and sat somewhere and wrote something and have begun to serialize it.
Or alternatively, you could have passed the documents on to them.
I won't be surprised. What they will say is that the National Security has commissioned people to write this. But I am saying, tell all of us in Ghana that the thing is in a 3-layer safe. Let's say what I am saying, respectfully, Chairman. What I'm saying is that when you had your open meetings all over Australia, as for me, I will not be here because I'm not privy. I haven't seen the report. Joy FM, I don't believe that you will stick out your neck and do something like this. I don't believe you will do this.
You know,
but let them not tickle themselves. Okay. In this country, anything Chairman, you want to find out, you can find out.
We are not tickling ourselves.
Chairman, he said anything you want to find out in this country, you can find out. I'm sure that you know that.
But there's something called fake news.
So this is fake?
Fake news.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's fake news. I mean, somebody can sit down and put something on social media, write an article, and when you use fake news. As a member of the NDC, and as a National Executive Committee member, what Kwesi Botchwey recommended, the party is not tickling itself. The party has taken the relevant steps to ensure that those recommendations are dealt with. Now, even only last night, I was at LAD talking about the recommendation of Kwesi Botchwey for the regional executives and the party members. We've gone to, from here, I'm going to Obom Domiabra. We are going to talk about the...
But you know, before a recommendation is given, you're told the problems. Yeah, you're told the things that went on. Are you saying that there was no brief as to what went wrong, but straight away there was the executive summary that came with a recommendation that you are working and running with?
Before Kwesi Botchwey even came to Greater Accra, we in Greater Accra had commissioned a report of what went wrong in Greater Accra. And as part of our submission, we gave him the report of Greater Accra. Because we had then gone out before he came to our various constituencies, met the constituency chairman, and we know what went wrong. I sit in here, without even Kwesi Botchwey's report, I can tell you what went wrong.
So you're saying that the things that is in the media, the thing that is
some of them are fake news.
Is it some of them or all of them?
What is being serialized, we are saying is fake news. Because we know what went wrong. Kwesi Botchwey has gone out, given us evidence of what went wrong. Committees have been put up to do same, to ensure that his recommendations have exactly. And it is
so shouldn't the NDC then be taking some legal action if all these media houses are not telling the truth?
We are saying focus. We are saying that we know every morning a daily guide will bring something, but that is not distracting us. We are saying, I just told you from here, I'm going to Bom Domiabra. You understand?
Is it true that, for instance, the former communications minister got his lawyer to write and request for a copy of the report based on the words or the serialization of some of the content allegedly?
Yeah, he wrote to National.
Okay.
And National told him that in the Kwesi Botchwey's report, no single person's name was mentioned.
How possible?
Oh, please. You see, let me tell you. Kwesi Botchwey did not come to the NEC to come and say that Honorable Ejaku did this, Honorable Ade Coker did this, Honorable. There's a polarity that this happened.
But he may not have said it, but in the content, in the detail, the writing,
I am just telling you,
nobody's name is in the writing as well?
Mama V, you are talking as if you are a member of the NDC, and I am a member, and I'm telling you.
So I'm just saying that in the text,
and I'm telling
in the text, there's nobody's name in the text as well.
The import of Kwesi Botchwey's report was polarization. Because everything that happened, something that happened in Greater Accra, probably happened in the Ashanti region or happened in the Eastern region. So there was a commonality in it. You understand? Kwesi Botchwey did not come and say that Ajakun did this, Ade Coker did this.
There was no Sandogbe.
I have a beef with Sandogbe. A lot of people have beef with Sandogbe. The party has a beef with Sandogbe. But if in the Kwesi Botchwey report, I'm trying to tell, they made sure that they did not mention individual names. And I'm telling you on record, and that is the gospel truth. So that individual names that are being mentioned are not in the report.
So Omani Boama was not based on that, you know.
He wrote and the party
request. They did, so they didn't give him.
The party wrote him that what is here is fake news. The party had not accused him of anything.
I listened to the Eastern Region chairman on Ekosi saying yesterday on Asempa.
Exactly.
He's also saying that he was going to talk to his lawyers to get to write to the party
to get the report, because there's nothing there, and that's why I say it's my colleague. We have a what do you call it, regional chairman caucus, right? And we all know what happened. Nobody gave Terry Abuatin 1 million Ghana cedis. I mean, we know. Alote Jacobs is down there. You can go and ask him. How the monies were disbursed in the party. We all know monies were disbursed in the party, but the process that was taken to disburse the money was not the best. We all are aware of that.
So the party is not going to take any legal action, even though the party believes that the reports out there being reported by the various media houses are untruths. Okay.
Are we going to fight Joy FM? We don't want to fight you. You have decided that you are like Donald Trump will say fake news. You decided to put out a fake news there and run with it. And today, lucky for you, I'm here to tell you the facts of the matter. Okay.
So and you're also not going to make that report public.
That I can assure you. The party,
so you're just going to use, word of mouth and keep denying all the various reports that are coming out.
The document is an internal document. The party National Executive Committee commissioned the Kwesi Botchwey to do that. After going around, he has come to inform the National Executive Committee. He has given us a copy. And the salient point that we need to work on, we are working on it.
Okay, Honorable, are you the last say?
The elders have a saying. In tree, they will say that as a boninti neche, it is because of bad. That is why you are called Mama V, and it's called Ade Coker, and it's called Emmanuel Ejako. Sometimes in the priority, you lose the essence. I tell you. Sometimes, when people don't want to be truthful,
you want to attack people, you want to put people's name there and attack them. No, it's not the best. You see, it's not the best. You are from a traditional home. The chief one is going to talk. We say, he will say, Ajaku, why them? You see. The chief will tell you in the plurality.
I am saying that if Mr. Ade Coker and his NDC want to continue to tickle themselves,
we are not.
If they want to say that, I find it that you, a regional chairman, you don't have a copy of the report.
No.
I
don't need that.
And that's. Then why
I know that because
I asked. Then why did Kwesi Botchwey go out in the first? If you knew,
Kwesi Botchwey has given us the executive summary.
Why do you have an executive summary?
Why?
Why?
Because
if something goes wrong, a train has derailed. Yes. The minister has set out a committee. Yeah,
is he coming to publish the committee?
He will publish a report.
A report.
He will publish a report.
And then we have to publish our executive summary report.
What is an executive summary? Executive summary.
The body.
You see, I don't think. That's why I say you people, you are not serious.
The body.
You are tickling yourself.
The body.
You are living. No, you are saying that you still haven't come out of what has happened to you.
No. We have.
You are dead. You are still dead.
We have.
The positions they take. When you talk to them, there's no. Then what was the essence of the Kwesi Botchwey committee?
The essence of the Kwesi Botchwey report has told us
that the committee, not the report.
The committee.
What was the essence?
The committee came out with one essential problem that we had.
What is the problem?
Our biometric registration. was one of our nemesis, which we are tackling. He told us that we neglected our grassroots because most of our branches.
I say, why is the report?
Why should I come and make the report for you to read? What benefit will it be to you?
Oh,
I'm asking.
We are all politicians. We all occupy the political space. We can learn something from it.
So I'm giving you the salient point.
I am saying that. You see the way they are behaving. You begin to question why was a Kwesi committee set up? If the report becomes sacrosanct.
Mr. Jacko,
the only reason why committees are formed is that we want to learn lessons.
Yes, and it's for us.
And they are doing it as if
it's for us to learn lessons. It's for the NDC
I am saying that. But for me, I will conclude by saying that
Ade Coker,
it is their house matter.
If you reflect on
it is their house matter. But you see, but I am saying that they are being so untruthful. They are doing it like class 1 children who are playing. You see, they don't want to live up to the issues clearly. I'm sure that Kwesi will be grieving now.
No.
I am certain that the members of who are the other members of the committee. I'm sure they will be grieving.
No, they are not grieving.
Why would they be grieving?
Yesterday, one of the members of the committee came out to debunk what.
Who?
What's his name? Is one of her colleagues at the parliament. This Shefi MP, Body MP, whatever you call it. What is
Samson Ahi.
Samson Ahi. Right, he is a member of the committee. And he came and said, no, what they are saying is not true. It's a member of the committee. I'm not a member of the committee.
Mr. Ade Coker, are you saying that when you were going around, the issue about the cars that you bought and the cars didn't go into your right, it didn't come up in your hearing?
Which cars did we buy?
The cars that were...
No, which cars? Which cars?
Ade Coker, but we all lived in this country. We all saw the over 200 Mahindras, branded JDM.
No, let me tell you. The Mahindras were for the party, and all the parties... all
the cars you get... Me, I'm an MPO. In Legon, I saw all these little cars driven by some nice young ladies. I saw all of it.
But that was... those cars that you were talking about were not purchased by the party.
The party, whoever purchased
the party.
Whoever purchased it.
Now let's go to the brass tracks. The Mahindras that you saw were given the constituency. Every constituency had a Mahindra, and it's still there now, right? If you saw somebody driving a car, people had their own ways and means of finding resources to be given.
So there were individuals also running, individual campaigns.
And that has we are aware that
if a report says that there were 200 cars,
let me finish.
Well, some years.
No. We had Mahama, Zongo for Mahama, this for Mahama. Those things, those people. Ladina babies and all those things. Those people went out of their way to campaign. And they found their logistics to campaign.
But their strategy, to be fair, it's not different from your own strategy. You also had,
we are talking about NDC.
You see,
Where we use the strategy, it works. They use the strategy, it failed. So I am saying that it is tight knowledge.
Let me land, please, my brother.
I agree.
Let me land.
I agree. I respect you.
I'm saying that these 200 cars that you are talking about, it's not in a contributory report. 2, the party never bought any 200 cars to be given to anybody. To be given, how many? It's said to be given the media, and the presidential call is on 34. So you see, why didn't they buy 34 cars and 200 cars? If you read the story, the presidential call has made about.
But are you denying the existence of it, or you're denying the fact that the party bought it? Because remember that the party could be different from the other. There could be somebody else funding. It could be from the presidency. It could be from anywhere.
Okay, so now you are talking about NDC report, NDC party, and as a party man, I'm telling you what I know.
Okay.
That the party did not buy 200. So you agree with me that
you see? I cannot agree with you.
NDC had 200 cars for journalists.
This you're denying. You didn't have any 200 cars for journalists.
I'm saying this NDC, this NDC had no 200 cars for journalists.
Oh, you see, they are making the thing. There were 200 cars. The argument is saying it was not NDC.
No.
It was maybe Lodina, maybe. Don't go for Bahama.
You are misquoting me. No, don't misquote me.
But you are saying, your emphasis is that
no, please.
NDC.
But
there were,
honorable, what is the headline here?
Maybe a parallel organization in the NDC.
No. Be honest. What is the headline? Where's the cameraman? Zoom me. What does this say? NDC had 200 cars.
Okay.
And I'm saying NDC, National Democratic Congress, for which I'm the regional chairman, had no cars for journalists.
We agree with you.
Thank you very much.
If you had cars for journalists and you didn't give me one, like I will not forgive you.
Mama, you see, I think Chairman has clarified the issue.
Yes.
The issue is that there were 200 cars, but it was not NDC.
You are being mischievous.
It was not NDC, of which he is a member of the national. You see, it even deepens the rift. It widens the rift. The whole thing is that there was a parallel organization.
There is
people took money. People used money. And that the money didn't come to the party. You see, Chama, you are here confirming that.
I want us to finish off with.
There was somebody that even the national party, the national chairman, when he needed T-shirts, had to go somewhere. The national chairman, when he needed money, had to revert to somebody who was an unelected officer.
Let me tell you something. That is very true. That is one of our problems. That we are saying that.
I say, if you say this is not in the Kwesi report, then what is in the report?
I have just told you that.
But
this is not in the report.
But the
200 cars.
It's a shout.
But the things that you've said that are in the report, he's accepted. He's confirmed.
I've confirmed.
And the things that are not in the report.
Exactly.
So let the good people, those watching us. What happened is that NDC as a party did not buy 200 cars.
Yes.
But somebody who was running a parallel campaign bought 200 cars.
Whether that is true or not.
But Mr. Ade Coker, just the final thing on this, and then I want us to talk about the school feeding before we wrap up.
Yes.
So what is contained in the reports, you don't know for sure. You're just taking it from the chairman as he presents it to you.
The Professor
because he says he hasn't seen.
Yeah, the body of the report, we have not seen it, but the executive summary
is what you've seen.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it's an
are you okay with the fact that? Are you okay because you're also an executive of the party? Are you okay with the fact that you don't have a copy of the report?
I don't need the body of the report to understand what went wrong.
Okay.
I'm saying that at least
let's finish up with the school feeding.
At least point A, point B, point C, point D, up to are the findings of the submissions that were made during the outings.
Okay. And so how far were the recommendations then? I mean, the things that you're doing. You're talking about biometric.
Yes, biometric. We have accepted it, so we've jettisoned it, and we are doing new registration.
Is it ongoing?
It's ongoing. From November to December, we are now going out explaining the rationale to the various branches, because it has to start at a branch level.
Okay. So I'll give you some airtime, and then we'll talk about the things that you're doing. How about that? That will be a 101. Won't break the stage. I'll go in the picture.
You see, I have stated here, and I want to reiterate that I'm sure Professor Kwesi Botchwey will be a very unhappy man.
No. You cannot say.
I am.
You have to read the report.
I am at a loss. I'm at a loss as to why they will work and produce an over 400-page report.
How do you know it's over 400?
Oh, but
maybe by 60 pages.
When you did it, you told us. Have you forgotten? The day he presented the report,
you saw the bulk report.
No, he said he himself said that I think it was a 467 page report.
Over 400 actually.
Yes, as he said it. So what I'm saying is,
you want us to read? You want me, Ade Coker, to go and sit down and read all the 400 pages?
Why not? Then you're being lazy. No, I beg to say.
I need the executive.
It's a very lazy way of saying I will only take the executive summary.
Because I know what went wrong.
Well, isn't that a personal choice?
Why did you do?
That could be a personal choice.
And why did you set up the Kwesi?
I've just told you.
Why did you set up the? If you know, why did you set it up?
I've just told you that. I've just told you that before Kwesi Botchwey even came to Greater Accra,
You already knew your problem.
So why did you do that?
Right.
Why did you do
All right.
that?
Let's talk about.
Why did you do that?
Let's talk about the school feeding. Let's finish up.
If you know something, why, if you are not feeling well and you know what is wrong with you, why will you go to the hospital?
Maybe you want a second. Maybe you want a second opinion.
Oh, come on, you're a pharmacist. You're a pharmacist. He just comes on the table and says, I've got a headache. You tell the person to go to the hospital for diagnosis.
Let's finish up with the school feeding. And I am hearing that if we don't settle the bills, we'll probably soon see some naked demonstration here in Ghana, because there are women who are old. There are people who are old. Somebody up to 4 million Ghana cedis. That's not fair.
Probably.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes I think we should be fair to ourselves, really and truly. I will be the last person to sit and say that there are no challenges. I think that when this government took over on the 7th of January 2017, there was an outstanding bill of over 100 million cedis owed operators of
the school feeding.
School feeding is not a one-off thing. It is a continuum. I sometimes find it, but with tongue in cheek. Sometimes I want to ask, when they were owed, when some of them were owed for 12 months, 12 months, we didn't hear that there were going to be naked demonstrations. Somebody has come. He says that I won't contest it. I draw a line. It is an ongoing process. I can state on authority that over half, indeed, approaching 2/3 of the outstanding has been paid. I think the Akufo-Addo government has shown good faith, exercised the utmost good faith to say, well, I came to meet a bill that had aged over a year. I didn't say that I will just look at the going forward. Government is a continuum. I came to meet.
But these people are not still cooking. Yes, I hope you know that.
Exactly.
These people are not cooking.
But we will.
The contract has been taken away from them. So why don't you just pay them off?
They also took away some people's jobs. They also took away some people's jobs. I mean, if we don't want to, let's not get into that argument.
No, I want us to get that argument. We have to continue like that.
We don't have to continue.
These people the job was taken from them, and they were paid only 5 days. Out of 200 and something days, they give you only 5 days.
So you two, why did you compound?
No. Why did you compound it to 200 and something days?
No. They were paid. They were paid when the government took over. This is the period that the government took over, and some that were before they were terminated, right? So this has been going on until they were asked to stop cooking, and then they are saying that if you say we should stop cooking, fine, pay us our monies and let us go, and they gave them 5 days.
What I'm saying is that you were owed 12 months.
Not 12 months. They were not owed
200 and something days. You see, 200. It is when the children are on break. It is not. It is 12 months. 280 something days.
I might have got the figure wrong.
School days. But you were owed 12. You were owed 1 year. You didn't strip naked.
They were not owed.
Somebody says, I take responsibility for the liability. I say that they have been paid more than 50% of what was owed them.
They haven't been paid. Listen, the women.
Go and check.
No, there was an amount of money that was released recently.
Yeah.
The figure is here in the story. I think it's about 21 million Ghana cedis to defray parts of arrears owed caterers under the school feeding program for 7 days of the second term of 2016-2017 academic year.
You are sitting here. You are not paid in the second term. You are not paid in the third term. A government has come. As for our politics, this is politics, and it's okay. I expect it. It's fine. But I am saying that this government, this Akufo-Addo government, has shown commitment. Somebody's 12 months. They didn't pay them. They thought it was okay.
Mr. Ade Coker,
come on.
I'll give you the final say, and then we'll wrap up on this.
You see, look, whatever the situation is, these women have cooked. Some of them went to the bank to take loans, and they are being chased. The government has got money to do free SHS. The government has got money.
Voilà, there we go.
Has got money to give the student nurses free their allowances. They should find money and pay their women, so that our mothers will not go in the street naked.
Baba B, my last word on this one.
Yes.
You were owed 12 months. 12 months.
So pay them.
I am stating again that the Akufo-Addo and his government has shown commitment. When he came, he says, I will pay you. Half a loaf is better than no bread.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Mama V.
Yes, sir.
You have had money to pay their nurses.
Their children are nurses. Their children are enjoying free SHS. Their children are nurses.
So pay their money.
In fact, if it was not for the fact that the nursing allowance has been restored and they have, we will
pay them their money in bulk so that it can be capital to do some of the business.
We will pay them, but we are just reminding them that John Mahama's government didn't pay them for 12 months.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you. Yes, and we are paid.
So pay them.
We are paid.
Not 7 days.
We are paid.
We want to cross over. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. I wish you well today.